How much do you know about where the chicken and eggs that you eat each day come from? I've been working with the Bureau of Investigative Journalism to look into a big boom in mega chicken farms here in the UK. I've come to the Wye Valley because this is one of the places that's most impacted by this growth in intensive poultry units. Now, there are many reasons why local people and environmentalists are concerned about this, but the one that I've come to speak to people about today is ammonia. Ammonia is a gas that is emitted from chicken faeces. Studies have shown that when it mixes with other pollutants in the air, it can be damaging to human health. It can also have negative impacts on our environment and ecosystems. Now, the government knows that ammonia is a problem and has targets to reduce emissions in the UK as a whole. We found emissions of ammonia are slowly declining across the UK as a whole, but there are a few hotspot areas where emissions from chicken farms are on the rise, sometimes by as much as 40%.
If I was to come along and say I want to build a factory making car components in the middle of the Golden Valley, I'll be turned down. People come to places like Herefordshire expecting to have a nice, clean air. If the air coming out of these chicken farms was bright orange, everybody would be objecting. And being a member of the Golden Valley Action Group, we started looking into it deeper and realised it wasn't good. It frightened the daylights out of me. And these things were worse than the exhaust pipes out of a Volkswagen car. There's one a few miles from where I live, chicken farm, and the wind blows straight across a big school. Ammonia had more impact on plants and vegetation because the nitrogen it enhanced some species and killed off others. I'm not against chicken farms. I will still eat a nice chicken tikka curry in London, knowing it's not come from a free-range chicken farm. I'd be quite happy for a chicken farm to be an industrial unit on an industrial estate.
So I'm just driving around the Wye Valley right now, and it's a very beautiful, quaint area. But this area has also become known as the chicken capital of the UK in recent years. So the 4 counties that surround the River Wye, that runs kind of along the border between England and Wales, are now believed to be home to around 32 million chickens.
If anywhere in mid-Wales you stand on a little peak and you look down, you see the landscape absolutely covered in intensive poultry units. With a colleague, we decided to find out exactly how many of these things there were and where they were, which apparently nobody really knew. Powys and Shropshire and Herefordshire are a sort of concentrated triangle, if you like, which is sometimes called the poultry capital of Europe. We're left in Powys with over 10 million chickens at any one time. What the ammonia is doing is affecting plant biodiversity, which underlines all our other biodiversity. Recent research has implicated agricultural ammonia emissions in the pollution problems in cities. Ammonia that's wafting around in the air combines with particles from vehicle fumes, causing respiratory and cardiovascular problems for us. I have fairly mild asthma, but when I walk past a large concentration of ammonia, I can actually feel my lungs tightening up.
I'm interested in lichens, and one of the reasons I'm interested in lichens is that they are, by and large, very good indicator species. They're very fussy often about the sort of place they live. So this group of lichens here, for example, only likes to live on bark that's quite acidic. And oak trees, for example, have a naturally very acidic bark. And so this is the sort of community I would expect to find all over rural Wales on an oak tree. However, when ammonia levels start to rise, and so the community of lichens changes quite dramatically. So here we have a twig from an oak tree in East Radnorshire, surrounded by intensive poultry units. We have these much smaller lichens called physias. They're common, for example, all around the coast, where seagulls like to deposit their dung. These are communities that I would never expect to find on a natural, non-polluted oak tree. This was one of probably only half a dozen sites for this particular lichen. So this is one of the species that I thought might benefit from a little bit of ammonia and might spread. In fact, what's happened is that I've just watched its demise in site after site in mid-Wales.